Okay, so tell me a little bit about Stationeers. What is it all about?
Sure. So Stationeers is it's very much inspired by a game that I'm very passionate about called Space Station 13 and Minecraft, and particularly mods for Minecraft like Feed the Beast. So you and your friends in multiplayer can go and build a space station and manage the space station. And then you go off and do these away missions in shuttles, like you maybe go clear a derelict station of aliens and steal the stuff from it, or go down to a planet and mine some resources. And you go up to your station and you make it better and cooler, and you build like conveyors and machines and stuff like that.
So what's sort of the end game? So obviously you're upgrading your station, but what do you do once you get towards the end?
You just keep exploring more and more. So if you think about it in terms of Minecraft with its realms, it's the same sort of thing. You can go off and go to different planets and go to different areas of space and explore and mine new resources, make better weapons, build a bigger station. And it's quite a long-term game. So the building is not like Minecraft where you just plop something down. You have to manufacture the frame and place the frame down, then you have to put steel in the frame, and then you have to weld the frame and wrench the frame.
So you sort of build it up how you want to build it, you sort of create your own story.
And you try and make it more efficient. So you can sort of build things quite ghetto, like very simple airlocks, but later on you can actually place down these consoles, and you can put motherboards in the consoles and have much more advanced, like with lots more safety features, and so make your station more automated and more efficient. And I guess it's inspired by a game, Factorio. I don't know if you played it.
We played that.
And that way, you build a system and then you want to make it better, and that's what we've done. And at the moment, we're running. We've run 16 players internationally with no problem.
Is that all on one server?
Yes, so you can either host it or you can run a dedicated server.
Right.
And we've decided, we released it all to the community, so people can host their own servers. In fact, even if you run it in single player, you're actually hosting the game.
Right.
And it's fully integrated with Steam, and we're looking at full mod support as well.
That's interesting, So what I like about already looking at it is that you can customize it how you want it. You can shape it exactly how you want it. So there's no real you have to do it this way. You can sort of build a station exactly how you'd want one with your own design.
The idea is that you'll build your station over many months. So it's actually quite slow building the station, but lots of things can go wrong. So you can see one of them is at the moment, but there's actually a burn chamber. So you can actually burn hydrogen and oxygen, and when you burn hydrogen and oxygen, it produces water. And so that's a good way of generating water in the game.
So can things like go wrong, malfunctions, you have to do repairs?
Yep. You run out of, you have a tank for your air, oxygen, you can see here, he's actually got a small amount of toxins in his mask at the moment. Probably because he put his mask on in the station and there's a little bit of hydrogen, or maybe even a little bit of chlorine that was in the station. So you actually have to flush your mask.
So it's, in a sense,
to make the inventory system all in world. It made the controls a little bit convoluted in some ways. It means you're never out of the game. You're always, you can see he was pulling stuff out of a locker in world and stuff like that.
I mean, so it's quite realistic then, really. You need to sort of think about your suit and keep it in good condition, as well as the station. Make sure it's all secure.
You can see he's actually in a 0G at the moment. And what happens is once you close off give structural integrity, not necessarily atmospheric integrity, but structural integrity, and gravity gets turned on. What that means is interesting things can happen. If you have a wall break, you lose not only atmospheric integrity, but also structural integrity, so everything starts floating.
And things can get sucked out.
Oh,
right, that's really cool, actually.
It's very cool until it happens at a very inopportune moment and you lose all the stuff.
That you spend hours and weeks trying to get, So is there obviously you're saying there's multiplayer, do you have to sort of, can you attack other players, or is it more just working together?
We're focused on PvP at the moment. We are doing everything server authoritative, but it is a real challenge to deal with things like hacking. We really wanted to focus on one good core game loop for it. We still don't really know what the market is for this game, how many people are interested in it, how many people are going to play it. So that was really the idea of coming to Rezzed. We wanted to talk to people and show people a game and say what do people think about a game mode.
So is it coming out in early access?
Yes, that's the idea. So after the show, actually on Saturday, I'm doing a talk about the roadmap for the game that we prepared. including showing some of the visuals about what we're doing with the away missions. I think it's at 2 p.m. And then we're going to do live development. We're actually going to live stream us making the game, discuss with the community about what we're doing, and sort of decide when it's ready for early access. Probably a few months.
Yeah, but I like the idea of it, to be honest. It's a bit like Space Engineers.
It's very much like, so I love Space Engineers. I just wish the survival was a little bit more of a part of it, like getting your oxygen tanks and your hydrogen tanks felt a little simple to me.
Yeah, it also felt like quite a lot of a grind as well.
Yes,
very grindy.
Very much about around building the ships. And we wanted to make this more about being smart and being efficient. So, you know, you can build, there's 2 kind of levels of computers. One of them is a console, which is a very simple computer, very simple behaviors. But you can actually build a computer. And the only motherboard we have for computers at the moment is a solar controller. So you can build a computer that allows you to control the direction of the solar panels in game for how you're charging electricity.
So as you're going through orbit, you can sort of adjust. I'm guessing you go through orbit?
Well, the sun rotates around you.
Right.
But we've tried to keep it very simple, because I think this is one of my problems with Space Engineers is it's very physics-based. So if you're playing at a multiplayer and you build a joint, they tend to just wobble around. So we've tried to keep it very simple and straightforward, because we want it to be very scalable. We'd love to be able to support like 100 players or something like that.
So since you mentioned there's lots of players, what are the sort of benefits of working with people rather than on your own? You can just be more efficient.
Well, we're adding in some pretty hardcore survival elements. I don't know if you guys have ever played a Minecraft mod called EnviroMine.
No, I haven't.
One of my favourite mods for Minecraft. So it added dehydration, it added sanity. So the longer you spent time underground, the more insane you became. So we're actually adding sanity and hygiene to the game. So when you spend a lot of time off mining, I don't know if you've seen the TV program The Expanse. It's a sci-fi program. Quite a cool one. So very cool. So the idea is you're spending a lot of time off mining. You actually need to go back to the station sometimes and have a beer, or take your suit off and have a shower.
It's a bit of chill time.
And it was. You know, we're still experimenting with some of those concepts in a way that's fun, but we want to have ideas of you getting onto a station and socializing. If there was big interest from the community, we'd also look at linking the stations together via a global trade network. But at the moment, we're keeping the scope pretty modest for the game.
So at the moment it's more just experiment, build things and sort of try out the game mechanics.
Yeah, we were actually hoping to have the away mission stuff in the game, but we're going to detail what we're doing with a lot of visuals as well on Saturday.
So if you end up, when the game's finished, what would sort of the ending be? Would it be very open-ended? You can sort of just keep going?
Very open-ended. I really like the idea of, I made a 2D prototype of this in Space Station 13, and we actually were working on the same station for over 6 months. So sort of every weekend we'd boot it up and play for a bit and then save it and carry on. And that's what we really want to achieve with this. We really want to achieve that sort of long-term building a station with your friends.
I mean, the problem that we have when we're playing with games like this, it's sort of like you sort of feel like you've reached the end and you feel like you've done everything very quickly. But the idea of this is obviously just to keep you coming back and keep you working towards something.
So once for a start, your kind of atmospheric system is you get a big tank and you just sort of dump it down and you open it up. And that's how you get your air. But then you build an atmospheric system. So you can see on this computer here, there's a very complicated mixing machine. So he's actually got a mixing machine here that is filling a machine to get the exact mix for 25% oxygen and 75% nitrogen. Then you need to build air conditioning systems because you produce heat. And so you need to remove the heat from the atmosphere, otherwise your station eventually is going to heat up. So the idea is that there's just so many ways to optimize your station over time, and you can build in a waste management system, so you can build in disposal chutes, so that as you produce garbage, you can put the garbage in and then have an incinerator, etc., etc.
I mean, it seems like I'm going to be spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to do this. Is it like a tutorial, or is it just sort of like...
Well, we're sort of debating that. We do. I think it's kind of cool to leave some of that stuff to the community. Like a lot of people like making YouTube videos about how to do stuff. So what we were thinking of doing is, rather than doing, we are going to do a tutorial like school mode, we'll probably add a system to do YouTube videos, show YouTube videos in the game, and actually find books and read books in the game about how to do stuff.
So there's like a subtle tutorial there. So you find a book and that tells you how to build this certain system. I mean, it does seem really interesting. So it's coming out in a few months in early access?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to us. It means a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you.